My son thought I'd get nothing from my ex-wife's 34M will. But the lawyer shocked us at 3 a.m. The clock struck 3, the kind of time that sends shivers down your spine. Shadows danced on the walls as if the very spirits of the restless night were listening. Danny's heart pounded in his chest. He'd always believed his mother's fortune was beyond his reach, locked away by the cold, unyielding grip of a legal document he would never see. But then the shrill ring of the phone shattered the silence. What could it possibly be about? His ex-wife, the rightful owner of that staggering $34 million estate, had passed away under what many whispered were mysterious circumstances. Who would have guessed she kept secrets? The townsfolk were buzzing. Some said she dabbled in dark arts, while others claimed she'd made a deal with the devil himself. But in that moment, as Danny clenched the phone, the voice on the other end, that attorney with the gravelly tone, dropped a bombshell that sent his entire world spinning. "You'll want to sit down, Danny." The attorney listed off names. Not just names, familiar names. At that hour, the weight of each syllable fell heavily against Danny's disbelief. What did she leave him? A haunted mansion? A cursed relic? Everything felt surreal, like a twisted fairy tale where the prince was too busy gazing into the abyss to grasp the flicker of hope before him. With each passing second, Danny could feel the tension almost crackle in the air, thickening like fog on a winter's night. He had thought he'd get nothing, but here he was, tangled in a web of intrigue and fear. Someone else was involved. Someone who might conflict with his claim. The thought hit him like a punch. His mother had always been unpredictable, but this? The room felt like it was closing in, constricting his chest with a tightness he couldn't shake. If only he knew who he was really up against. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. But as he hung up, something unsettling gnawed at him. Why was the lawyer calling at 3 a.m.? Outside, a chilling wind howled, and Danny suddenly felt like he was being watched. The shadows seemed darker now, alive with the ghosts of choices not made. What lay in wait behind the door marked inheritance? What other secrets could his mother have left behind? The questions weighed heavily, begging for answers, whispering promises of secrets, and dangers lurking just out of sight. Danny's breaths were shallow, his heart still racing. He could feel a prickling at the nape of his neck, as if the shadows themselves were whispering his mother's secrets. What had she done? What had she hidden? The unsettling buzz of uncertainty wrapped around him like a cold blanket. He ran a hand through his hair, clenching his fists. He needed answers, that he stumbled towards the light, the bright bulb overhead momentarily blinding him. He had to think. His mother didn't just leave behind money, she left behind a legacy of enigma. The realization struck him like an icy wave. The townsfolk hadn't just been gossiping, they'd sensed something dark and twisted. He recalled their hushed tones, the grim glances they exchanged when her name came up. Had he been so caught up in his resentment that he'd ignored the warnings? Grabbing his jacket, Danny marched towards the door, each creak of the floorboards echoing through his mind. He needed to confront that attorney, needed to peel back the layers of the mystery. The weight of his uncertainty stirred a morbid thrill in him. It was time to unearth the truth. The night air was raw as he stepped out. A thin mist swirled around his feet, the streetlights casting distorted shadows on the pavement. He glanced up at the sky where gray clouds loomed ominously. Danny could feel something, an electric charge in the air, a feeling that tonight held promises and peril. Reaching his car, he hesitated, his thoughts racing. Before he even started the engine, he couldn't shake the feeling that he wasn't alone. A fleeting figure seemed to dart just beyond his peripheral vision. He whipped his head around, his breath hitching. Nothing. Get a grip, Danny, he muttered to himself, forcing the engine to roar to life. But as he drove into the night, every flicker of motion caught his attention, every rustle of leaves felt like a sinister whisper, every shadow a potential threat. How could he confront the past he'd buried for so long? When he arrived at the law office, the darkened windows loomed like vacant eye sockets, and the door was slightly ajar as if inviting him into a den of secrets. Heart in his throat, he stepped inside. The faint sound of a ticking clock echoed through the silence, a reminder of time slipping through his fingers. The office felt cold and stale, littered with dusty tomes and forgotten case files. Behind the massive mahogany desk, a figure emerged, a woman, her presence both commanding and disquieting. She wore a pinstriped suit, her eyes glinting with unnerving intelligence. "You're here at last. I was wondering how long it would take you." "Who are you?" Danny demanded. His voice echoed through the empty space. The woman smiled, but it did little to warm the room. "Let us just say I'm an executor of sorts. Your mother had unorthodox arrangements." He swallowed hard. "What did she get into?" "Everything you need to know is in the will," she replied, reaching for a weathered envelope embossed with his mother's initials. "But I'll warn you, what you'll find inside might change everything you thought you knew about her." Danny reached for the envelope, pulse racing. The moment stretched, time feeling elastic, almost mocking as he contemplated the weight of his mother's legacy. What had she hidden? Who else wanted a piece of this puzzle? As he tore open the seal, the answer lurked just out of sight, a darkness gathering in the corners of the room. Would he regret uncovering this truth? What lay hidden within the folds of the will could lead to his salvation or his doom? The weight of the envelope felt heavy in Danny's clammy hands, an oppressive reminder of the truth lurking inside. He pulled a shaky breath, heart hammering in his chest, and ripped the envelope open. A single folded sheet, marked with his mother's elegant handwriting, fluttered out like a leaf caught in a storm. "Read it," the attorney prompted, her voice smooth but edged. As if sensing the tremor in his resolve, he unfolded the paper, his fingers trembling. The words blurred momentarily as anxiety clawed at him. "To my son Danny," it began, and he swallowed hard. Each letter carved a deeper sense of foreboding. "I leave you my estate, not just in property but in secrets that have long been buried," the note continued. "Know that every choice I made, even those that may seem to shadow my love, was for your protection." He blinked, momentarily frozen. Protection? What had she faced that required such secrecy? The townsfolk had spoken of her suspicious ways, but he had always dismissed their whispers. Now the stakes felt infinitely higher. He read on, the letters blurring as his heart raced with every revelation. "You will find a key hidden within my belongings. This key unlocks not just doors, but truths about our family you could never have imagined. Find it, Danny. In darkness lies the path to your light." A chill crawled down his spine. The words resonated like an echo in a cavern. Her legacy was not just a fortune, but a tangled web that he was now woven into. "What light?" he murmured, barely audible. The attorney leaned in, her gaze intense. "Your mother's will is only part of her story. There are assets, connections, and yes, even dangers that you've yet to comprehend." Danny's stomach twisted as dread mingled with curiosity. "What do you know? What's really going on?" He could barely contain the urgency in his voice. "Trust me, Danny," she said, her tone shifting, almost soothing yet unsettling. "Finding that key is your path forward. But know this, there are others who are searching for it too. You're not the only one interested in your mother's past." "Others?" Panic surged through him. "Who? What do you mean?" Before she could respond, a crash outside shattered the tension. Both their heads snapped toward the sound, something heavy hitting the ground, followed by the unmistakable sound of footsteps. The sudden noise resonated, chilling the air with dread. "Stay behind me," the attorney commanded, rising to her feet with a calmness that unnerved him. Danny tightened his grip on the will, feeling the pulse of an unknown terror creeping into the folds of his consciousness. "Who is it?" he whispered, each word shaky with fear. She moved cautiously towards the window, her silhouette framed by the dim light. "I don't know, but I need you to trust me. Things are about to get very complicated." He wanted to protest, to demand answers, but the door suddenly jolted open, slamming against the wall with a violent bang. A shadowy figure stood at the threshold, breathless and wild-eyed, silhouetted against the gloom outside. "Danny!" the figure rasped. "You need to leave. Now." Danny's heart plummeted. Recognizing the face, his pulse thundered in his ears. It was the last person he expected to see, the brother he barely knew existed, stepping from the shadows of his mother's past. What the hell happened? Danny shouted, panic rising. The air grew thicker with tension. Did his brother know more than he was letting on? I'll explain later, the brother said urgently, darting a glance back toward the door. We don't have time. They're coming for us. As dread mingled with confusion, Danny's thoughts spiraled. What had begun as a night filled with revelations was now morphing into a nightmare. And he felt it, the cold breath of something sinister creeping into his life. Who were they? And what would his mother's secrets cost him? Danny, we need to move. His brother's voice cut through the chaos, grounding him for a moment. With everything on the line, the only question left remained. Just how deep did the mystery of his mother's legacy go? And was he prepared to face the darkness ahead? Who's coming? Danny's voice quivered, adrenaline flooding his system. His instinct screamed at him to run, but the truth buried beneath his mother's legacy held him captive, horror mounting with every heartbeat. His brother stepped closer, urgency etched on his face. We don't have time. I can explain everything later. Right now we need to get out. The intensity in his brother's eyes jolted Danny back to reality. The attorney, still by the window, strained to catch any movement outside. Stay low, she whispered, her voice barely audible. We can't let them see us. Danny felt like he was teetering on the edge of a precipice. One more push, one tiny slip, and he'd tumble into the abyss of secrets and danger promised in his mother's letter. What do you mean they? Who the hell are they? Panic clawed at him, getting under his skin. The weight of the envelope felt as if it had fused to his bones, a constant reminder of the darkness he now faced. They're people who want what she hid. They'll do anything to find it. His brother's voice was strained, trembling with raw fear. We can't stick around to find out what that is. A loud thud echoed from the hallway outside, followed by a low, ominous laugh. Danny's heart sank. It was a sound that carried malice. It wasn't just some petty thieves. These were people who relished chaos. I can't run without knowing what I'm running from. Danny shot back, frustration boiling over. His mind raced. Why was he being pulled deeper into this web? Listen. His brother grabbed Danny's shoulders, grounding him with an urgency that sent chills down his spine. You may think these are just whispers and shadows, but Mom's secrets, they are real. And they are dangerous. There's more at stake here than you realize. With every second that ticked away, Danny felt time slipping through his fingers like sand. The crashing of what could only be a boot against the door jolted him, scattering his thoughts. There was no more time for questions. Now, his brother's voice sliced through the air. Danny darted toward the back of the room, instincts kicking in. The attorney, already moving, gestured for them to follow her. The room felt like it was shrinking, suffocated by the weight of their unasked questions. As they slipped out through a narrow doorway leading into a darkened corridor, Danny's breath quickened. His mind was half focused on the trepidation of their escape and half on the letter still wedged tightly in his hand. What truths lay ahead? What had his mother masked in the shadows? They paused, breathless, as heavy footsteps reverberated through the house, each thump a grim reminder of the danger nipping at their heels. His brother glanced back, the fear in his eyes now palpable. Keep moving. Don't look back. They navigated through the labyrinth of rooms, and despite the oppressive gloom, Danny felt a flicker of resolve ignite within him. The thought of uncovering these truths, of illuminating the darkness overshadowing his family's past, pushed him forward step by step, even as dread clung to him. But as they reached the back door, hope morphed into cold terror. Another figure loomed in the darkness, blocking their exit, a shadowy silhouette blocking their way with malevolent intent. Going somewhere, it said, voice smooth as silk and sharp as a knife. Danny's pulse quickened, the trap tightening around them. Was this the reckoning? Who was this figure, and what horrors did they hold? Get ready, his brother whispered fiercely, muscles tensed as he prepared to charge ahead. With uncertainty swirling like a storm in his chest, Danny braced himself, torn between the weight of the truth he had to uncover and the terrifying reality of what lay ahead. Would he face the entity standing between them and freedom, or uncover a truth that might plunge him deeper into the nightmare his mother had desperately tried to protect him from? The real question was just how much darkness was waiting for them on the other side. The figure stepped into the faint light filtering from the hallway, revealing a face that sent shivers racing down Danny's spine. It was a man in a dark trench coat, a hat tilted low, obscuring his features, but Danny could see the glint of malice in his eyes. "I've been waiting for you," he said, his voice dripping with amusement. "You must be Danny." Danny's heart raced, pounding in his throat. "Who are you?" He managed to gasp, grasping his brother's arm tightly. "Just someone interested in what your mother buried," the man replied casually, as if discussing the weather. "You know, she made a lot of enemies." With a swift motion, his brother moved slightly in front of Danny, but it felt like an empty gesture against this predator. "You won't get anything from us," his brother said, voice low but firm. "Oh, but I already have," the figure chuckled, his laughter echoing through the corridor like a dissonant chime. "And I won't stop until I have everything." Panic surged in Danny, a suffocating wave that threatened to pull him under. "What did you mean by that?" he shouted, voice cracking with an edge of desperation. Before the man could answer, a loud crash resonated from the hallway outside. The sound rolled through the house like thunder, shaking Danny to his core. "We need to move," the attorney urged, urgency slicing through her composed demeanor. "Where do we go?" Danny asked, glancing back and forth between the attorney and his brother, teeth clenched with fear. The man in the trench coat took a step closer, an unsettling smile creeping across his face. "You think you can escape? It's adorable, really. Don't let him intimidate you," his brother shouted, his expression fierce. "We'll find a way out." But the laughter continued to reverberate, creating an oppressive fog of dread around them. Danny's instincts kicked in. He felt trapped, both by the very walls of the house and by the revelation seeping in from the figure blocking their exit. "Run," Danny's brother urged again, pulling him toward the kitchen door that led to a back porch. His heart raced faster than his feet could carry him, but as they sprinted, the man's voice taunted them from behind, chilling remnants of his laughter following them. "You can't run from the past, Danny. You'll find that out soon enough." Bursting through the kitchen, they skidded to a halt. A darkened sky loomed outside, an ominous blanket stretched across the horizon. Heavy rain had begun to batter against the glass, a storm mirroring the turmoil inside. Still, they had to keep pushing. Danny glanced back at the attorney, whose face had gone pale. "What do we do now?" "Out the back door and to the car now," she insisted. They dashed through the rain, the chill biting at Danny's skin, making him hyper-aware of the world around him. Each splash of water reminded him of the precariousness of their situation. The man's words echoed in the back of his mind like a haunting melody, but he had no time to dwell. As they approached the car parked under a flickering streetlight, Danny's brother fumbled for the keys, heart hammering against his chest. But the nightmare wasn't over yet. Another figure emerged from the trees, another silhouette standing menacingly in the rain, arms crossed, waiting to cut them off. "Did you really think you could just leave?" the second figure called out, voice dripping with mock sincerity. Danny's breath quickened, each heartbeat counting down to a moment of confrontation. "What have we gotten ourselves into?" he muttered under his breath, the weight of their situation intensifying. The storm raged overhead as the two figures converged on them, tightening the noose of their predicament. What had his mother hidden? What danger was waiting for them? As darkness wrapped around them, that unshakable question lingered: would they uncover the truth, or would it consume them? Rain pelted Danny's skin as he stood frozen, eyes darting between the looming silhouettes. The first figure, still in the dark trench coat, grinned wider, wickedness writ large on his face. The newcomer, a woman with fiery hair that whipped in the storm, looked calm, merciless. "Let me guess, you don't want to play anymore?" she taunted, stepping forward. "But this is just getting interesting." His brother moved instinctively in front of Danny, his posture defiant but shaky. "Get away from us. We didn't do anything to you." Danny's heart raced in sync with the pounding rain, panic clawing at his insides. "We can't let them corner us. Focus on the car," the attorney shouted, her voice sharp over the cacophony, eyes darting between the figures who were now closer. The trench-coated man folded his arms, an eerie calm settling on him like the storm clouding the night sky. "You think you can escape? No matter where you run, the truth waits. Your little hiding game won't work. We're not afraid of you." Danny's brother shot back, but the bravado faltered. Danny could see the way his brother's hands trembled, an echo of his own terror. "I'm not here to scare you, boys," the woman purred, taking another step closer, rain cascading off her chin. "I'm here to enlighten you. There are things your mother didn't teach us, Barry. She wanted them forgotten. But here we are." A vision of their mother flooded Danny's mind, her gentle smile, her warm embrace. How could she have hidden anything? The thought sliced through him. What did she do? What secrets? Secrets that could change everything or end you. The woman's eyes glinted dangerously as if she reveled in their fear, her voice smooth like silk hiding a blade. Danny glanced at his brother, who stared at the woman, grappling with the weight of their mother's past. "We need to get to the car. Now. Why not just stand here and let it all unravel?" The man chuckled, stepping closer. "It's fascinating to watch you squirm. You think you can outrun history?" With a surge of adrenaline, Danny grabbed his brother's arm, yanking him towards the car. "Don't listen to them. We can't let them win." As they reached the car, Danny's brother fumbled with the lock, fingers slick and shaky. Behind them, the figures were now less than 10 feet away, their laughter piercing through the storm's howl. "Why do you think we're here?" the woman asked, her voice mocking, hushed as though sharing a secret. "Because of what she left behind. Do you think you can just drive away? You have no idea what's coming, do you? Just start the car." Danny yelled, heart pounding against his ribs like a drum. His throat felt dry, his breath quick. The car door creaked open and they dove inside, slamming it closed. His brother's hands rattled as he turned the key. The engine sputtered, and the moment stretched, electric with tension, while outside, the figures waited with smirks that spoke of menace. The headlights flickered to life, cutting through the curtain of rain just in time. Danny's mind raced as his brother's foot pressed down on the gas. "I just want to make sure she's safe," he muttered. "That's all I care about." "Did she keep you safe?" the trench-coated man shouted, his laughter mingling with the roar of the engine. "Or did she lure you into a trap?" Then they blasted into the night, tires screeching, adrenaline pumping. Relief surged anew for just a fleeting second, but a thought clawed at the back of Danny's mind. What if everything they thought they knew was just the tip of the iceberg? "Where do we go?" Danny asked, realizing they were fleeing into an unknown that loomed larger than the storm itself. "Somewhere safe. We need to figure out what she did and what they want from us," his brother replied, glancing nervously in the rearview mirror. And as they sped away, Danny couldn't shake the feeling that their escape was only the beginning. Who else lurked in the shadows waiting to strike? And why did their mother's secrets feel like a ticking time bomb? A question echoed in his mind, relentless. What else had she hidden? The truth felt dangerously close, but so did the darkness pursuing them. In the distance, the silhouettes vanished into the night, but their threat lingered heavily, pushing Danny and his brother into a future they couldn't see yet. The rain pounded louder against the windshield as Danny's brother pushed down hard on the gas pedal. The car surged forward, but Danny felt a cold dread settle in his gut. They weren't free yet, not with those figures lurking just behind. He dared a glance in the rearview mirror, heart skidding into his throat at the sight of two shadowy shapes inching closer. "Do you think they're following us?" Danny choked out, voice tight and raw. "Of course they are." His brother snapped, knuckles white on the steering wheel. "We just stormed away from a confrontation. They won't let this go." Danny's breath came fast and shallow, panic flooding his veins. What if they already know where we're going? The road stretched out ahead, slick and glistening. His brother's eyes darted back and forth, frantic as he maneuvered the car to stay steady. "We need to find a place to hide. Somewhere to think." Rain blurred the street signs and every light ahead felt like a false promise. The city felt endless yet claustrophobic, like the walls were closing in around them. Suddenly, a flash of red and blue flickered in the tunnel of his mind. What about the old storage unit? The one Mom kept all her stuff in. "We can go there." "Not a bad idea." His brother's voice softened, strategizing. "But if those two find us there, I'd rather face them than whatever they're planning." With a determined nod, his brother swerved off the main road toward the industrial district, where their mother's storage unit stood alone on the far end. It was a relic from a different time, a place packed with memories both comforting and haunting. As they approached the unit, a sense of nostalgia washed over Danny. Flooded memories surfaced, lazy summer days spent sorting old boxes, the smell of dust and old leather filling their lungs. I can't believe she kept everything, he murmured. Yeah, and we may need it all now if they're coming for us, his brother replied, scanning the area outside the car. The relentless rain slacked slightly, but a heaviness hung in the air, thick and foreboding. Danny's heart raced. The weight of their mother's hidden past pressed down on him like a weight pressing on his chest. What had she left behind? Let us go, Danny urged, forcing his body into action. They both jumped from the car, narrowly avoiding a slip on the slick ground. As they jogged to the unit, a cold gust of wind seemed to whistle past them, sending shivers down Danny's spine. The heavy metal door loomed ahead, rusted but sturdy. His brother struggled with the lock, fingers fumbling, and for one maddening moment, Danny's breath caught. Come on. We don't have time. Finally the lock clicked open and they pushed the door ajar. Inside, the faint smell of mildew mixed with the familiar scent of old cardboard. The dim light from his brother's phone illuminated the stacks of boxes, each a potential treasure or threat. They stepped inside, hearts pounding. We need to hurry. Mom's stuff can't just be junk, his brother said, urgency threading his voice. We have to look for anything she might have left us that could explain what's going on. Danny nodded, eyes scanning the chaotic stacks. Did she leave a journal? Anything like that? His brother rifled through the first box, pulling out dusty trinkets and yellowing papers. Each item felt like a buried memory surfacing. I don't know. We can't just dig through every single. A creaking sound interrupted him. The hair on Danny's arm stood on end. What was that? Footsteps echoed from the entrance. They weren't alone. A voice sliced through the silence, low and dripping with menace. Thought you could hide in here? How quaint. Danny's blood ran cold. The trench-coated man stood silhouetted against the pouring rain, accompanied by the fiery-haired woman. The storm outside had suddenly become nothing compared to the storm inside the storage unit. Why don't we see what secrets your mother left for us? In that chilling moment, something deep within Danny's gut screamed that they were out of time. He stepped back, heart pounding in his ears. What do you want from us? Oh, it's not what we want, the woman said, a sinister smile spreading across her face. It's what you're going to uncover that will change everything. The tension was electric, thickening like fog, as they faced the dark truth of their mother's past. And as the figures advanced, each step echoing with the promise of revelation and danger, Danny understood they were about to confront secrets he was never meant to know. What other horrors had his mother concealed? What would they discover next? Danny felt every muscle tense as the trench-coated man stepped closer, the weight of his presence wrapping around the room like a noose. His brother, wide-eyed, stood frozen, desperation flickering in his gaze. What do you mean? What do you know about our mom? The woman's eyes gleamed, sharp and predatory. Your mother had secrets and you're holding the key. Let us see if you can unlock the past before we do. Danny's heart thudded loudly in his chest. We're not afraid of you. Whatever secrets she had, they're ours to uncover. The man's sinister chuckle echoed through the dusty unit. Brave words, boy, but how much do you really know? You have no idea what she was involved in. A sickening chill crawled up Danny's spine. The shadows seemed to press in around them as he glanced at his brother, who seemed to share his fear. What are you talking about? She was just a woman living a quiet life? The trench-coated figure cut him off, stepping closer. No, she was part of something much bigger and far more dangerous than you could fathom. And now it's your turn to face the music. Enough of this, Danny yelled, his voice breaking through the thick tension. What do you want with us? The woman took a step forward. We want what she left behind. Something powerful. Danny swallowed, the lump in his throat making it hard to breathe. What is it? The man laughed softly, the sound dripping with contempt. You really think you have the right to ask questions? That's cute. But if you want to know, you'll have to dig deeper. We'll be watching. With a flourish, the woman produced a small USB drive from her pocket, holding it like a trophy before letting it slip into her hand. This contains the first clue. But you'll have to unravel the rest of the mystery yourself. His brother stepped protectively in front of Danny, fists clenched. If you think we're just going to give this to you, you're wrong. But you have no idea what you're up against, the woman mocked, her eyes flashing with mischief. You have one night to uncover everything. When the sun rises, we'll return. And trust me, you don't want to be here when we do. Danny's stomach dropped as they slowly retreated, blending into the shadows cast by the flickering light. Breathing heavily, he turned to his brother, who looked just as shaken. What do we do? Find the clues. Fast. His brother's voice was clipped, but there was a spark of determination, a shared understanding igniting in their gaze. They had to face whatever nightmare awaited them. Danny grabbed the USB from the box where it had been abandoned with trembling fingers. Let us see what's on this. If it leads us toward whatever secrets Mom kept, we need to know. Together, they dove into the boxes surrounding them, the musty odor of time threatening to suffocate them. Each item felt like an echo of a life they thought they knew but now stood in direct contrast to the looming threat. Hours slipped by, and the sweat beaded on Danny's forehead as he tore through faded mementos, old photographs, letters yellowing with age. Just when despair began to claw at him, he noticed something tucked away at the bottom of a box, a notebook, thick and worn, with their mother's jagged handwriting scrawled across the cover. He reached for it, reverberating with hope. This could be it. As they flipped it open, the pages cracked, revealing sketches, names, and coded messages that hinted at a life interwoven with danger and deception. But before they could process their discovery, the storage unit door slammed shut. The ominous sound echoed through the silence, and Danny spun around, heart racing. Time was running out. Danny, what if they come back? His brother whispered, fear creeping into his voice. Then we'll be ready, Danny replied, though his own confidence wavered in the face of the unknown. They needed to uncover the truth about their mother and the dark past before it consumed them. With every hurried turn of the page, Danny felt the weight of destiny pressing harder on his shoulders. The night was far from over, and with every revelation they were closer to understanding, yet deeper into danger. Would they unravel the web of secrets in time? Or would they find themselves ensnared in their mother's dark legacy, just as those figures out in the storm had planned? Danny's fingers trembled as he turned the worn pages, each scratch of his fingertips against the brittle paper sending jolts of energy through him. The barely legible scrawls danced in front of his eyes, revealing names he didn't recognize, each one like a ghost haunting the facets of their mother's life. Do you think these people are involved? His brother murmured, squinting over Danny's shoulder. Fear balanced precariously with determination, a taut rope they were all too aware could snap at any moment. Maybe, but it feels like there's something more. Danny's voice was laced with doubt, uncertainty nipping at the edges. Just then, a loud bang reverberated through the metal unit, followed by an unsettling silence. Both boys froze, hearts pounding in unison. Did you hear that? Danny whispered, barely able to breathe. Suddenly, light filtered through the cracks in the doorframe as it creaked open a sliver. They instinctively ducked behind a tall stack of boxes, adrenaline coursing through their veins. The door swung wide, revealing a stormy night outside. No sign of the trench-coated duo, but the ominous feeling in the air grew, thick with tension. Maybe it was just the wind, Danny suggested, though the knot in his stomach told him otherwise. A low whisper floated in, slicing through the silence. Find them. We can't wait any longer. Who is that? His brother hissed, turning pale. I don't know. But it sounds like they're looking for us. Danny's pulse quickened. He crouched lower, scanning the shadows. The notebook felt like a lifeline in his hands, a guide that might just pull them to safety or down the deepest, darkest rabbit hole. Before he could think better of it, he flipped another page. The ink formed a map, marked with red X's he recognized as locations across town. Look at this, he whispered urgently. These places, they mean something. Are you sure? We don't even know if this is safe, his brother replied, anxiety dripping from his tone. It's our only shot, Danny pressed, desperation creeping back in. We can't just sit here and wait. Okay. I trust you. Just as he spoke those words, a heavy footstep echoed through the unit. Then another. The whispers had grown louder, distorted by the walls closing in on them. You hide well, but not well enough, a voice sneered. Danny quickly stuffed the notebook into his jacket. We need to move. Now. He shot up and yanked his brother along, urgency breathing life into their frightened limbs. They bolted towards the side door, hearts racing in a wild rhythm, when suddenly the second figure appeared, wielding shadows and threats in his dark silhouette. Where do you think you're going? Panic coursed like thunder in Danny's ears. He yanked his brother back just in time, as a hand lashed out, barely missing them. They skidded to a halt, the room now a cage of dangers, the shadows threatening to close in. The door loomed behind them, and the night outside felt impossibly distant. "What are you going to do?" Danny's brother whispered, staring up at him with wide eyes. "Fight or run. But we can't let them get that notebook." The weight of freedom and danger draped over them. With a sudden surge of determination, Danny pushed against the suffocating air, his heart tearing between fear and furious resolve. He knew he had to protect the past for their future. "Cover me," Danny shouted, lunging forward into the unknown of the storage unit, every sense on high alert. Just as they made their move, the lights flickered violently, plunging them into darkness. A chilling laugh echoed around them, wrapping tighter than the shadows. "You think you can escape? It's already too late." As Danny's breath caught firmly in his throat, he felt an icy sliver of fear creeping back in. The night was still young, and the figure of the woman loomed tall in his mind. Who were they really up against, and what secrets awaited behind those doors? The notebook slipped from his grasp, landing open on the ground, revealing a cryptic passage that felt like a beacon of light in their darkest moment. "Danny," his brother said, clutching his arm. "What now?" In the suffocating silence, their chance to uncover the truth hung in the air, as fragile as glass. What had they stumbled into? And what secrets awaited them in that cursed darkness? Danny's pulse raced. The lights flickered back to life, casting a dim glow across the cramped storage unit. The ominous chuckle still echoed, but there was no time to dwell on fear. "We need to keep moving," he shouted, adrenaline pushing him forward. He darted toward the door, his brother right behind him. It was now or never. "That notebook!" his brother yelled as they hurtled toward the exit. "We can't leave it." But Danny could already feel the icy grip of fate tightening around them. The two figures loomed less than 5 feet away. He risked a glance back, and what he saw made his stomach churn. The trench-coated man advancing with purpose, the woman's fiery hair glinting dangerously. "We don't have time," he cried again, shoving his brother through the door. They burst out into the storm, rain slashing against their skin like 1,000 tiny knives. The world felt unreal in those breathless moments, the weight of their mother's secrets crashing down like the thunder rumbling overhead. "Where to?" his brother gasped, eyes darting around trying to shake off the swirling fear. The old memories of the town came rushing in. "The diner. We can regroup there. It's only a few blocks away." With one last glance over his shoulder, Danny sprinted. They plunged into the darkness of the night, the rain soaking them to the bone. Behind them he sensed the shadows shifting and knew they had to push harder. "Keep up," he panted, forcing his legs to move faster, their rhythm desperate and frantic. The diner loomed ahead, flickering lights like a beacon through the downpour. As they reached the entrance, a voice echoed from behind, cruel and mocking. "You can't run forever, boys." The taunting laughter spurred them on. They dove through the door, slamming it shut against the storm and whatever horrors might be lurking outside. Inside, the familiar smell of coffee and fried food enveloped them, a far cry from the darkness they had just escaped. The few patrons inside cast wary glances at the drenched intruders as Danny leaned against the counter, gasping for breath, clutching his brother's arm to steady them both. "What do we do now?" his brother panted, his expression a mixture of fear and determination. "We need to figure out the connection between their threats and the notebook." Danny nodded, adrenaline still coursing through him. "Right, let us look at the notebook. We can't waste any time." With shaky hands he pulled it from his jacket, hurriedly flipping through the pages, revealing sketches and names. Each page felt like it carried a weight of its own, threads tightly wound into the tapestry of a life they barely understood. "Wait," Danny said abruptly, fingers brushing over a particular sketch symbol, a twisted design he recognized from town folklore. "I've seen this before. It's connected to a group near the edge of town, always whispered about. They were rumored to be involved in unsavory business." His brother leaned in closer, shock flickering in his eyes. "Do you think they're the ones searching for us?" "The very ones," Danny confirmed, heart racing anew with the unease that came with their mother's legacy. "And this notebook, it's more than just a record of her life. It's a map through the minefield of dark secrets she left behind. We need to find whatever she was protecting. Protecting us or protecting herself." His brother mused, a shadow settling over his expression. "What if it's not over?" What if she didn't just leave behind treasure but also made plenty of enemies? Nervous murmurs from the other patrons brought him back to their surroundings. The waitress eyed them closely, her brow furrowed with concern. He could sense the undercurrent of tension in the air. Every person acutely aware that danger lurked just beyond the door. "We can't stay here," Danny said, urgency propelling him forward. "We need a plan. Then we need to gather our resources. There has to be something in the notebook that points us to where she hid things, items, anything that can help us understand this nightmare." His brother's determination sparked a flicker of hope within Danny. With their breath steadying, they huddled over the notebook in a booth, eyes scanning for clues. As they pieced together bits of their mother's past, anxious glances flitted toward the diner door. The weight of the outside world pressed heavily against them. Just then, a shadow flickered across the glass. A flash of dark clothing caught Danny's eye, and a chill ran down his spine. "They're here," he murmured, dread coiling in his gut. "Move!" his brother shouted as the door swung open hard enough to rattle the hinges. The trench-coated man stepped in, eyes cold and piercing right behind him. The woman raised her chin defiantly, her presence looming like a thundercloud. Danny grabbed his brother's arm. "This ain't over. We'll protect each other." Determination surged within him, sharper than fear. They weren't just running from the secrets anymore. They were facing the monsters born from them. As the figures advanced, he knew it was time to put everything on the line. The truth demanded to be uncovered. "Bring it on," he whispered resolutely, standing shoulder to shoulder with his brother. When the past collides with the present, courage becomes the only path left. They were ready to unravel the darkness and uncover whatever legacy their mother had left behind. Together, they would face it head-on. It's all or nothing now. The storm beyond raged on, but inside the diner, the flames of their resolve were just beginning to flicker in the shadows, as the game of cat and mouse became a battle for the very core of their legacy. This was just the beginning. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and send this story flying. Flood the comments section with your thoughts and theories about the ending. Your engagement makes a world of difference. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Your support is everything, and only true fans understand its importance. Let us keep this community growing strong.